Let's go. Palantir earnings. Unbelievable boom today. We are trading up to 1966 and after hours. You can see that this range we broke out on Palantir was fantastically accurate. We had our bottom at 1680s. The next midline of this range would be 2170, and then inevitably leading to a target of 2669 should we continue to move up. That's the range it moved through before, so we're going to use the past to our advantage and make sure that we have this mapped out for the range going forward. So welcome to the stream. We are going to talk about this one. We are going to go through NVIDIA. We have crushed that trade. We're going to talk price targets and where we can expect it to go. We are going to discuss the Disney trade, which we have already entered. For those of you in the Discord, you already have access. And then we're going to get right into smash or pass. Make sure you get those tickers at the top of your mind and get ready to go so you understand exactly what you're going to ask so you can get the most out of this stream. This will be 30 to 45 minutes that will set you up for the entire week to make money. Remember, the reason we're here to do this is because we have found this beautiful little pocket of the universe where it takes very little effort to make more money than we could ever imagine by simply following a few rules, doing a little bit of research, and sticking to the plan. This does not need to be complicated. The strategy I talk about uses two horizontal lines. It's so simple a fifth grader could use it. If price breaks into the range, we trade the range, bottom to top, top to bottom. One strategy that if you're trading with a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 account should make you $5,000, $10,000 a year. That's exactly what it's done for me. Just to illustrate the point here, that I'm not full of it. Let me go over to this. Oh, oopsie daisies. So this has been the past 3 months. We're up 36% on just this strategy, just the one. As I told you guys before, I'm following one strategy and I'm rolling with it. We're not diverting because it has been making us fantastic money. So going back into it, Palantir, what can we expect? Well, we did test the midline of this range. Once again, we're going to keep it very simple. We're on the 4-hour chart, which gives us a little bit more data to work off of so that we have a better understanding of the whole picture rather than if we went into, say, the 3-minute, 5-minute chart. That's going to give us a very small snippet of a very small picture. We don't want that. We want the big picture here. And as you can see from this chart, it has absolutely boomed to almost 50 bucks. Came down to 16, the same line right here, picked back up and ran to the 26. Then it fell off for quite a while. And for those of you that have been following me and have gotten the alerts, you were buying this at about 750, 760 all throughout this little range right here. We're buying, waiting for the boom. It ran to 21. We were up over 200% on the trade overall. And we are watching this right here, just around 17 bucks right there. Earnings was very favorable. So as a result, the stock's running. Now, where can we expect it to go from here? Well, to keep it very simple, we're going to follow our range and we're going to trust that it's going to hit this midline. And then if it hits that midline and breaks and then goes over that midline, so if the candle pushes up and then closes over that midline, we are going to estimate that we are going to go to 26 and change. So basically, that's our trajectory going forward. If we don't and the stock price comes down, then what we're going to expect is it to test our support right here, and either it holds up and then we go to upside, or it drops off and disappears, in which point we will close the position and take our winnings and go on to the next one. Again, this is not complicated. The whole intent is for this to be as simple as humanly possible, so simple that a third or fourth grader could absolutely do it. And you can, because third graders can draw a horizontal line based on what we see on the chart here, visually speaking. You don't have to understand how any of this works. You just have to look and say, okay, where does it seem these lines got stopped in the past? And we can easily see that they got stopped here, 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 and sold off. So we can say, okay, $26 seems to be a point of contention. Where can we draw a line where the price seems to hold up? Well, here, 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 here. Okay, $21 seems to be a support. That's our midline. And where can we draw our bottom dollar support where we expect this thing to hold up? And that's right here. Broke off, fell off, resistance right here. And then once we pushed up, we kept hitting our head on this line, which tells us this is an important line. This is an important level to watch, inevitably leading to us breaking up into this range and holding above 16 and change, which is when we then took off. So again, this alert I'll be updating in the Discord. If you don't have access, the link's below. Just sign up, get your free account, and get in there. Like I said, I really like 21, and then I like 26. I've been selling the $21 calls as a hedge against my position because it seems to bump its head. But I think now, given the strength of these earnings, we might not see it bump its head. It might actually break through and take off. So very, very favorable for this one. I'm very excited. This has been a great trade so far. Again, we're up about 300% on this one. If you've been following me, then you should be up 300% too. If you haven't, now you know you should follow me because you would have been up 300%. So moving along, our next big trade that we expect a nice result from, it's already paying off handsomely, and that trade is Disney. We are holding up at about 91 bucks. That is the bottom of our range. Again, same strategy, so simple. A fifth grader could do it. We find a bottom line support, horizontal line. We find a top line resistance, horizontal line. We draw 2 lines on the chart to create a trade that will make us anywhere from 10 to 30% on an easy trade that we buy once and sell once. Not trade a million times a day. Simple trade. We buy once and then we sell. That's as complicated as we're going to get. So we know that our bottom line support on Disney here is about 91 and change. We bought once we saw that the price was holding up right above that line. That's our confirmation, right? And now we're just sitting and waiting while we're pushing up to new highs, at least relative highs, right? This was a high, 96, came down. Now we're trading higher. That's a good sign. A higher high is a great sign. A higher low is also a great sign. So there's number 1. There's number 2. There's our number 1 high. Here's our number 2 high. So what do we have here? We have a higher low, and we have a higher high. What does that tell us? I'll wait for your answer. That tells us what? That's confirmation that we are in a blank. So that was the question. The Duco has the answer. We are in an uptrend. That's what's going on right now. That's what tells us confirmation. And we are long on this name. Long, meaning we own the stock on the hopes that it will continue to appreciate. I was buying this at 91, 92 bucks, and now we're trading at 96. So we're already green on the position. We have the options trade locked and loaded. That's been posted in the Discord. The other trade details posted in the Discord. If you want to access again, go to that link at the bottom and sign up. It's free. So we've seen some very strong moves on this one as we go through this range from 91 all the way to 120. Happened once, twice. Now let's hope it happens a third time. I think it will. I'm pretty optimistic here that the chart is telling us that we're on the right track. So this Disney trade should pay off handsomely. Now to move to another big winner trade that we had. That would be NVDA. I've been covering this one every week. Every single week, guys. These targets have been drawn since we were trading down at 400 bucks. So you would have known, hey, we're going to 500, and then we're going to 570, and then we're inevitably potentially going to 738. You guys knew that because you've been following this stream. That's exactly what's happening. So even if you took the trade down here when we were talking about it, we alerted this one at about $160 a share, meaning we alerted it down here before it blew up. Even if you didn't get that alert and you've been following this stream, you should have this from 450 or so, which means you're up at least 50% on a large cap stock, which is as good as you can ask for. It's as good as it gets. Everyone's watching this trade wondering, why didn't I know? Well, you did. And I'm glad, and I appreciate those that have followed to get that information. I'm glad you've been able to see the profit that you very much so deserve. So that's NVIDIA. Phenomenal. Quick look at Microsoft today. Wrong one, sorry. We're going to do a quick look at Microsoft, then we're going to dig into the SPY, and we're going to talk our options trades for the week. Microsoft did sell off a little bit, but it does look like it's holding up. Again, we look for a low and then a higher low, and then we look for a high and then a higher high. Gives us confirmation in the uptrend. 370 is kind of that pivotal point there on Microsoft where it needs to hold in order for this trade to pan out. Our options, passive options, our passive options trade was up about 65%. Our Microsoft passive options trade, we're selling premium. That trade was up about 50%, 60%. is up to about 60% profit on a passive trade. We take those weekly from the Friday day trading stream in the Discord. Once again, link at the bottom gets you access. That was a phenomenal trade. I really enjoyed it. I still am holding one contract. It's only up about 10-15% now, unfortunately, but I closed the others at about a 55-60% profit, so that was a good trade. And last but not least, let's get into the SPY before we do some smash or pass. SPY has absolutely climbed as if it listened to where we told it to where we have told it to go. We have absolutely crushed here. I have so many lines. I need to delete some of them. Trading in a different range now. So when we look at the SPY, we're on the 1 hour chart here. We can see that our lines have been accurate. 44 and change was a perfect support. Resistance turned over, became support. Again, think about it as in the context of an apartment building. When you're on the first floor, the second floor is your ceiling. If you go up to the second floor, it's now your floor. And the third floor is above you, right? So look at this the same way as this climbs up. What was your resistance can and likely will become your support if the trend continues. So we can see that happening here. We bumped our head to the upside, and then once we broke over that line, it's now the floor that we're sitting our feet on. So where do we expect this to go? Well, I think that more than likely tomorrow we could see a red day. Just looking at gauging on the price action today, we sold off at open and then we pushed up for about break even relative to our close the other day. So this seems to be a pretty critical resistance here, 490s. Let's put a little line there. This seems to be a pretty critical resistance there. So we're going to consider that resistance is going to continue. And when we open, we could see a push up. What I think we'll likely see is a rejection right here, which means that we're going to push up against this and then we're going to come down. And I think we're going to probably come down to about 490 when we do. So again, I think we're going to probably be bearish tomorrow. If we hit our heads here and on this resistance, I'm going to be looking at the 490 put. So that when it's trading at about 494, we're going to look at the exact contracts here. Once again, there's a couple grand to be made every single week trading these if you've been following this stream. So again, we're going to look a few weeks out. Let's look February 23rd. If you can't afford these, you just simply have to open a spread or move your expiration a little closer. I don't really think that that's the best decision for me, so I'm keeping it where it is. But again, I understand if the price constraints are hurting you there. But again, I would say the best option is to file for the ability to open spreads on Robinhood so that you can take these trades. So again, once we push up in the morning, we would be looking at this 490 put. I think that will play out pretty well. To go back to the chart to explain it once again, that was the February 23rd 490 put. We would be looking to, I'll be looking to enter this trade when we hit about 424.29. If we get confirmation on at least the 30-minute chart, right? So if we push up right here, see how we sold off? That was confirmation we were coming down, but then it picked right back up. If we get that candle push up and then close down here, we're looking at that 490 put, and we look at this to test support right around 489, 490. So a $4 move to the downside would make us a pretty substantial profit. That'd be a great trade. So that's what we're looking for in our bearish scenario as of right now. So let's talk bulls because that's always on the table. Again, we break down bull scenarios so you're fully prepared for the trade no matter what happens. So in the bullish scenario, this is scenario number 2. I think that we might still open weak, come down a little bit, trade low, and then start that ascent up to the upside. And then if we break above this line and we get confirmation, meaning that 30-minute candle pushes up here and closes above this line, then we are going to be looking at taking some calls to the upside. So in order to determine what the strike will be, we're going to go look at how far the SPY has moved in the last couple of days. So let's start with day number 1, 487 to 491. I think this could be a very similar day to what we see here if the bulls take over. So again, 487 to 491, that's a $4 move. And then if we look right here, this is after hours, but came down to 483. Now let's use this example because it's day trading hours. So it came to 484, number 2, came down to 484, pushed to 492. So that was a $7 move. And then let's look at number 3, 489 to 496. So $7 move. So we saw a $4 move, then we saw a $7 move, and then we saw a $7 move, right? So let's split the difference on these, right? So 14 plus 4, 18 divided by 3, right? That means we're likely to see a $5 to $6 move on the SPY if we go to the upside. So where does that put us? Well, if we come down to about 491 and we get that confirmation, that means we could finish around 497 or at very least hit our heads on that resistance. So that's similar to what the chart could look like tomorrow. So going back to the options chain again. Oh, sorry. We're going to go buy, call. Same expiration, February 23rd, gives us about 3 weeks. We're going to be looking at the 497 call, right? Again, if you have the ability to buy spreads, this is what you do. You buy the 497, and then you can click sell 498. So let's just look at what that would look like. You buy the 497, you sell the 498. You're trading this upside bullish options trade for only 42 cents rather than paying $300 for the trade. So you don't capture as much of the upside, but you do have way less risk and way less skin in the game. So again, we'd be looking at that 497 call for the 23rd. And here, the reasoning why was just explained here. So rewind it if you're watching this a little later. The expected move was the average of the last couple expected moves, which I think is a reasonable strategy. And then from there, we want confirmation of the breakout, right? Which means 30-minute candle pushes up, comes down and tests, and then closes above that 494, right? So that's what we'd be looking for on that trade. So if you see a bounce down here around 491 and you want to take a little more risk, that would be a great opportunity to enter this 497 call. I'll be watching for that outcome. If the price, if I enter this trade here at 491 or 492 and then it breaks down, I'm going to exit immediately. Stop loss hit. It's done. It's a loss. If it holds, I'll watch what happens at 494. I might sell some here and then hold the rest to see if we test 497. So that's what I'm going to do in this bullish and bearish scenario. Just broke that down for you, exactly why and what we're going to do. So, yeah, that should explain it. That last part got cut out. So what I was saying is if we hold right here, like 491, 492, you could add a little more risk to the palette. And I think it might make sense to take that call there. I would say more so around 491 and change. Might make more sense to take the call there, right around here. The price comes down and bounces. And that way you can capture the upside to resistance, maybe sell here. Or I'll hold, wait for confirmation, and then sell the rest at 497. So those are the options that I'm looking at there for the SPY. That's both the bear and the bull trade. Now you have everything you need to make money no matter what the market does, which is the point here. You guys need to be set up for success. So now that we've gone through the SPY, we've talked about a couple tickers I like. Let's get into a nice game of smash or pass. Drop your tickers in the chat. Any ones you want to go through, we're going to do a quick dive into whether or not it makes sense for that trade right here, right now. All you have to do is drop them in the comments. Please just drop one at a time. You could leave a few if you want. All I ask is that you only leave one per comment, so it makes it easy to put up on the screen. Drop them now, babe. You guys want to do this or what? Okay, we got one. Nicholas, my man. GDAXI. Is that OTC? We'll take a look either way. GDAXI. Not found. Are you sure that's the symbol? Is it in Germany? Is this Forex? I'm happy to look at this for you. I don't really do Forex, but it's just analysis, so why not? Is this the one you're asking about? GDAXI, is this it? Nicholas? So make sure I have the right one. I'm just going to go in on this one then. Why not? So again, employing the same strategies we just talked about, as we want to find where can we get the most touch points to verify that this little point in the price is accurate, and then we go back in time to confirm that. And I would say that this is pretty indicative of support at 16,863. So should we hold here, this thing has support and then looks like it's topping out. As I understand, Forex is very range bound. So this would trade between 16,864 and 17,000. So it looks like it has not gone higher than that. I don't know exactly what I'm even looking at here. I'm assuming it's currency, or this is a 4-year. It's a German Dow Jones. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I would say right now, I mean, you're still pushing the midline right here, which is right in between these two. But this thing seems to be pretty range locked, which means it's going to probably trade between here and here quite a bit, which means there's great opportunity for you to then trade every bounce. So it comes down, you go long. It comes up, you go short, long, short, and you trade the range until one of two things happens. It breaks through. So if you go long here and it breaks down, you immediately exit, right? Then you can go short to the next level, which is 16,647. So there's like a million trades here for you. That's the point of why I love the strategy. It gives you infinite options on what to trade. You're making money no matter what the market does. This is how real traders make money. You don't care about which direction it goes. You just want it to go a direction. So if we break through this support here, we're going to probably trade down to 16,791, and we might go as low as 1660. So I would watch this right there for the bearish trade. In the bullish scenario, let's say we hold up and find support. You'd be going long here. You'd become a bull right here, and you'd ride this up to 17,000. At which point then you'd watch to see if it breaks above this line. If it does, you could just hold the long position. If it doesn't, then I would be closing that long and opening a short position to trade the downside back to the bottom of the range, and vice versa. So I hope that answers your question, my friend. All right, we got SLV. Oh, Snowflakes at Hawaiian Electric. Let me go to that one first. It's a long. Oh, is that at Hawaiian Electric? HE? He. Interesting. So I'd say this thing's pretty landlocked. Here's your options. This is not a spot I would go long. Personally, I think that it looks bearish and it's going to come back down to 1250 or so. If it does, great long opportunity back to 1334. If it does hold here and go back up, then I would say that you have upside at least to 1380. But I would say that this one is more, I'm assuming, of something you think long term could pay off. It looks like, oh yeah. If you go back in time, look at that. I was trading at 35 bucks. Back in, this is on. Let's go to the 1 week. Oh, wow. Okay, now let's look at this with the right perspective. I did not know that's how this was trading. I'm assuming that was the Hawaii wildfires thing or whatever happened. I can't remember. The physical disaster. Oh, there you go. I'd say this is a great long boy above that green line right there. 1185. Look at that strong demand. That's the 09 mortgage crisis lows. It was the 1987 lows, stock market crash. So it looks like that's a pretty important support. That looks like it really did hold up here. Let's see what Stocks Buddy says. Stocks Buddy's a bear again. Let's look at the monthly. Stocks Buddy's a bear until we break above 16 bucks. I get to see why. This thing has had such a downward slosh from greatness. But I would say that a long entry above 1188 is not crazy. You could take a little bit of risk. We're trading that's about $1.80 loss, or no, $1.20 loss. No, yeah, it's like a $2 loss per share, which would be about 20%. So if you took 20% risk, it's incredibly oversold. I mean, your upside is great depending on nothing having changed with this company fundamentally or internally. I would say that it's might be a good opportunity. So especially if it's a long play, I'm not too certain about PE of 6. Huh. I just don't know what the scope of this. I just don't know how like the whole political, all these other elements would impact this. I don't know how many like households they're still servicing based on what had happened in Hawaii. So I would say take that information in along with this and then make your decision, because I think the chart says, hey, look, above 1180, 12 bucks, you got a nice base there. But if it goes below there, then I really think you need a strong recovery here. But I would just be very careful with that. SLV wants some of that silver, baby. Some of that silver trust. Stocks Buddy's a bull. Support at 20 bucks. I would say that's a pretty decent zone to get in. Look at these recent lows. There's a nice support building. Functioned as resistance until it destroyed that resistance. But I would say on the whole, silver looks like it is making a little bit of a comeback. You can see this is the pivot point, right? 20 bucks. It either make or break. Either it goes up from here or it comes back down and trades to 13 bucks. Either way, you can win this trade easily. I would say this is a phenomenal pivot point trade for both bulls and bears, where you could take either side of the trade. So yeah, I know it's a little different than we usually do it, but I will say that I think this chart just provides great opportunity. You're short below this line, you're long above it, because either this breaks down and comes down to 13, 14 bucks and you made great money on the short, or it holds up here and it pushes back up to 26, 27 bucks. So I would say that one is a great opportunity to make some money. IEP. That's the plan they give children when they get in trouble at school, I think. I have no idea what Icon Enterprises is. I gotta look this up. Oil and gas refining and marketing. Do they do oil and gas refining or marketing? Oh, this is Carl Icon's deal. Well, if Kramer said sell it, maybe you should buy it. I do like that little curl right there. I like that little curly Q right there. See if the weekly turned over. It looks like it did. The weekly turned over to a buy signal, courtesy of Stocks Buddy. Stop at 1790. It does look like volume's picking up there. This could be worth looking at. The monthly hasn't crossed over yet, which is my only fear. Above 35, I would really like this as a bull, but I would say that there's definitely a lot of risk here. But that little curl, I like that little curl, and it looks like that was resistance when they IPO'd. It was resistance here. Once they broke it, they went strong upside. They sold off in 08 crisis. This was support, and then they pushed back up again, and then held pretty well through COVID, it looks like, and then sold off. So I haven't seen much upside lately, but I think this one is actually great. This is I'm gonna give it to you. I think it's worth. I think it's the juice could be worth the squeeze here. That little curl, I love a good little curl, especially if it's on like the monthly or weekly chart. That stuff always attracts me. What's up, Cools? How you living, baby? Let's take a quick look at Uber. Oh my God, I'm so jealous That W pattern played out. So again, we've analyzed this one in depth. We saw long-term support at 30. From 30, we thought it'd go to 37. It did. Then 50, it did. And then our top line target was 60. It hit all of those. Fortunately, this is one I didn't enter because I'm an idiot. As far as where it'll go from here, well, it's a simple matter of drawing a little fibs there. Looks like next target very realistically could be $90 if this continues to the upside. I think that it's pretty overbought here, so I would be cautious. I'd wait for a support test. That would be a good opportunity. I think I'll look at to buy until the inevitable move up. I think Uber's just going to grow as a data company, and I mean they have their tentacles and everything, so really wouldn't shock me. So that one already smashed it. We're not ready yet. I don't think there's more. There's more to take there. Again, if there's not more to take, then there's nothing to look at. So we'll keep our eye on it. And then we'll do PDD. This was an absolute banger. Looks like stocks, but he nailed the support. Kobe stocks, buddy. That's the monthly. Let's go to the weekly. I know you guys took this options trade with me from 50-60. We traded the 120 calls. They went up 1,000%. Unbelievable trade. Looks like it found support here on our long-term trajectory. This could actually be a great entry for this could be a good opportune entry. However, Chinese politics should tell you that this is a lot of risk. As much as I love this one and the support setups look so good, the geopolitical climate with China is just too risky in my opinion to jump in there. So I'm gonna pass on that. This one made us some great money, but I think going forward it's just it ain't there. It just ain't there, man. We ain't gonna get it. So yeah, I like this. I've been trying to condense this so that those of you that are working, have children, what have you, can get 30 minutes of just actionable information that can help you inform how you make trades, what trades you make, so that you can make more money. Again, if you're not here to improve your life, if you're not here to improve the amount of time you have with your kids because you can make more money, the access to the resources, the vacations, whatever, this isn't about making you more money because money comes and goes. You guys know that. Money comes and goes. It goes up, it goes down. Time is something you never get back. And my goal with every single one of you and everything that we do here is to give you as much information as we can so that you can make as much money in a little amount of time as possible so that you can earn your time back to do the things you actually give a shit about doing. So I'll tell you right now, like if it's up to my kids or, this, I'm going to choose my kids all the time. But guess what? Got to pay the bills, man. So my goal is to make the most of all this time so that I can earn back, buy back the rest of that time, or just do more stuff, do cooler stuff with the kids, with the wife, with the family. I think that's the ticket. That's the ticket, you guys. So I love you. Thanks for being here. Stay blessed now. Bye-bye.